This is how to use rhinestone banding with your beadwork. So this is what our finished piece is going to look like with 2 rows of banding added. You'll need some Gorilla Glue. E6000 also works, just make sure that it has a fine tip. So here's our piece ready to add our banding to it. I'm using an SS6. It is a medium-sized banding. Start by rolling a couple feet off and get your beadwork ready to go. I like to put my first stitch up and then we're going to get the glue ready. So I like to squish out a little bit of the glue and just use the blob at the end to put a teeny tiny bit onto the felt. You don't want too much, otherwise it's going to seep through, and Gorilla Glue does not dry clear, so you don't want to see that. So now I'm just going to lay it. So my first piece is down and you want just the glue under that first rhinestone, like so, and then just push it down. Sometimes I use my finger, sometimes I use the end of a pliers. So now just let it hang off and we're going to go ahead and start tacking down. So to get started, I'm going to tack the first 2 gaps down between the rhinestones. So here's our first one, and then I'm going to do our second one to make sure it's secure. After that, we're just going to tack between every 2, and while we do this, we're going to make sure to pull the banding tight. I don't want it to be loose because the banding retracts, like you can see here, and if you have it pushed close together, each of the rhinestones, then you're going to have to tack between every one because it's going to retract. If you simply pull it tight, then you only have to tack every 2. So now I'm just directing it to where I want it to go. Make sure not to over direct the banding. You really just want to direct it so that the spot that you're stitching right now is going to be tacked, and if it is rolling, you can just roll it in the reverse direction using your fingers like I just did. So you'll get a feel for this as you work, and you just want to direct it a little bit like I am right now. We're not going to put it in place for our entire piece, just for the next stitch you're doing. So I'm just going to readjust the banding here in a second, like so. So this is the proper way that you want to hold it. We are only focusing on the area that we are tacking at the moment and not on the future sections. Now just keep repeating this process until you get almost all the way around your piece. Now I just want to remind you, if you're liking this video, please give it a thumbs up. Comment any other tutorials you'd like me to do down below. It really helps with the algorithm and getting my channel going. Once we get back to where we started, we want to trim the excess banding off. So you can see I'm holding it like this and trying to determine where to cut it. You can see here that it doesn't quite match pulled out straight, so we are going to bunch it at the end, and I'm going to cut it off right here. I'm just using regular scissors. Make sure they're ones you don't really care about. These are easy to cut through, but they will dull the scissors. So like this, and then we can just put away our banding. Now we're going to glue down this end as well. So grab your glue and add a small dollop right next to where we started. So also I want to show you that sometimes I use tweezers or pliers. So I'm just using these guys here to place it. This might be a little bit easier than trying to use your fingers, especially with this final ending piece. And then I'm just pushing it down with the end of the tweezers to make sure that it is secure. Like so. So you can see it's kind of a little bit floppy. So for this remaining section, we're going to tack between each of the rhinestones to make sure that it is perfectly secure. This way it is nice and seamless and fills everything in perfectly. Ta-da! We're all done our row of banding, and this is what it looks like. I hope you found this tutorial useful. Let me know if you have any other questions that I didn't answer in this video down below, and make sure to subscribe.